Lesson 2. Positioning as a messaging decision. Most founders treat positioning as a strategic exercise they do once. But positioning is a messaging decision you make every day. It is the first sentence that tells your buyer whether this is for them. This one only works if you've already written out your language matrix from Lesson 1, because your buyer's own words are going to fill in every part of this positioning statement. If you haven't extracted those phrases yet, go grab them first. In this episode, we're going to name your competitive alternatives, define your unique attributes, frame the context in your buyer's language, and synthesize it all into a single 25-word positioning statement. Let's make it actionable. Here's the core idea. Positioning is how you define the category, context, and competition in your buyer's mind. It is not your mission statement or your value proposition. It is a specific declaration of who you are for, what you solve, and how you are different. April Dunford's Obviously Awesome framework breaks it down into 5 components: competitive alternatives, unique attributes, value, target market, and context. You'll use your language matrix from Lesson 1 to name your customers' alternatives and define your unique value in their terms. The output is a single positioning statement that every piece of copy references. Here are the key takeaways. Positioning is not a marketing strategy. It is a specific messaging decision. You cannot position yourself without naming your competitive alternatives. Your unique attributes must map to a value your buyer actually cares about. Context is how you frame the category. Not everyone needs the same frame. And a good positioning statement makes your offer obvious to the right buyer. We'll use 2 frameworks. The first is the Obviously Awesome Positioning Framework, developed by April Dunford. It has 5 components: competitive alternatives, what they do now; unique attributes, what only you have; value, the outcome those attributes produce; target market, the avatar you built; and context, how you frame the category. Use this to write your positioning statement. The second is the language mirror positioning method. This uses your language matrix to fill each component. For competitive alternatives, use what your buyer says they are using now. For value, use the transformation language from your matrix. For context, use their category language, not yours. Positioning is not a strategy document. It is a single sentence that makes every subsequent messaging decision easier. If you have to explain what you do, your positioning is wrong. This lesson forces you to name your alternatives, define your unique attributes, and frame the context in your buyer's language. You'll use your language matrix to do the heavy lifting. The output is a 1-sentence positioning statement and a full positioning map that every piece of copy will be tested against. This is the filter for your headlines, your homepage copy, and your ads. The output for this lesson is your positioning statement and map. It's required for Lesson 3. Without it, your core narrative will be generic. Read the entire lesson. The sequence of the application steps matters. Back in Lesson 1, you wrote down your buyer's exact phrases in the mirroring matrix. Now we're going to use that to build your positioning statement. Pause and grab your workbook. You'll be writing again. Step 1. Name your competitive alternatives. Using your language matrix, list what your buyers use or do today to solve their problem. Include direct competitors, indirect competitors, and the do-nothing option. Be specific. For example, you might say, they are using HubSpot's generic templates, hiring an agency, or doing nothing. Step 2. Define your unique attributes. List 3 things only you can say. These must be verifiable and specific, not great service, but we have a 48-hour implementation guarantee. For example, we use their own customer language in every headline. We have a 90% open rate. We deliver copy in 48 hours. Step 3. Name the value for your buyer. Use the transformation column of your language matrix to define the outcome your buyer wants. Write it in their words. For example, they stop guessing which headline will work and start seeing conversions. Step 4. Set the context. Define the category your buyer thinks you are in. Is it copywriting? Marketing strategy? Brand consulting? Use their words. For example, we are not an agency. We are a messaging alignment system. Step 5. Write your positioning statement. Synthesize your competitive alternatives, unique attributes, value, and context into 1 sentence. The best ones are 15 to 25 words. Put it on 1 page. An example might be, for founders who are tired of guessing what to say, Our system uses your customer's exact language to build copy that converts, so you stop rewriting and start selling. Your to-do list for Lesson 2. List 5 competitive alternatives from your buyer's perspective, 30 minutes. Define 3 verifiable unique attributes, 30 minutes. Name the outcome in your buyer's language, 20 minutes. Draft your positioning statement and test it on 3 customers, an hour. These tasks produce your positioning statement and map. This document will be your filter for every piece of copy you write in the next lessons. It ensures your messaging stays true to your avatar and avoids generic marketing language. Let's look at how this played out for Acquisition.com. Alex Hormozy's team found that founders could not name their competitive alternatives without using generic language like other marketing agencies. This led to positioning that blended in with the crowd and converted poorly. They developed the value equation framework, forcing founders to name the specific pain their buyer feels and the specific result they want in the buyer's own words. The result? Positioning clarity improved conversion by 32% on landing pages. Their positioning clarity score hit 4.2 out of 5, and the time to copy approval decreased by 40%. Now apply that to yourself. Pause and answer these 3 questions. First, where in your current positioning are you using generic language instead of your buyer's specific pain? Name the section of your website or deck. Second, rewrite that specific section using the buyer's language from your matrix. Paste the original and your rewrite next to it. Third, if your positioning was as clear as Acquisition.com's, what would the first impression metrics on your site be? Name one you would measure. Here's what to watch out for. The most common way to surface complete this lesson is to write a positioning statement that sounds good but does not name a competitive alternative. If your buyer cannot instantly see what they are using now, your positioning is vague. Real completion is when your positioning statement makes a prospect say, "Yes, that is exactly what I need." If they are confused, you are not done. Your positioning statement is the filter for your hooks in Lesson 4. Without this filter, you will write hooks that are clever but not aligned. Avoid the trap of describing your product instead of the problem. If your statement starts with "we," rewrite it to start with "for founders who." The difference between someone who has positioned well and someone who has not is that the first person can send a cold email that gets a response. The second person's email gets deleted. Open your workbook to the Lesson 2 worksheet, the positioning map. Pause the video. In the competitive alternatives section, list the top 3 alternatives your buyer uses today. Be specific. Name the tool, agency, or do nothing option. Then, write down what they hate about each alternative. Use their language from your matrix. Finally, in the Your Positioning Statement section, write your 1-sentence positioning statement. Keep it under 25 words and use buyer language. Your positioning statement is the key input for the core narrative in Lesson 3. If you skip this worksheet, your narrative will be generic. Use the progress tracker. Check competitive alternatives named when 5 specific alternatives are listed. Check unique attributes defined when 3 verifiable attributes are documented. Check value named in buyer's words when the outcome is written as a direct quote from your matrix. And check positioning statement written when you have 1 sentence, under 25 words, on paper. Once you've checked all 4, you're ready for Lesson 3. And check positioning statement written once your 1-sentence statement is on paper. Use the calculator to measure the clarity of your positioning. Count your competitive alternatives. The benchmark is 3 or more. Count your verifiable attributes. Aim for 3 or more. And count the words in your positioning statement. It should be under 25. If you're below any benchmark or over the word count, revise your statement. Clarity is brevity. Here's your exercise. Send your positioning statement to 3 people. 1 who is not in your industry, 1 who is in your target market, and 1 who is a competitor. Ask each, "What do you think I do? And who is this for?" If the target market person does not say exactly what I need, and the competitor does not say that is different from us, you are not done. Rewrite based on the feedback. Pause and do this now. Reflect on this. What is the do-nothing alternative your buyer is choosing over you? Why are they choosing it? Write a sentence that names this alternative and the buyer's pain with it, exactly as they would say it. For deeper research, read April Dunford's Obviously Awesome. Pay attention to the chapter on competitive alternatives. Then find 3 well-positioned brands in unrelated industries. Write down their positioning statement. What do they have in common? Your action for this week. Replace the About Us section of your website or deck with your new positioning statement. Monitor the next 3 discovery calls. Do prospects self-identify as your buyer faster? Next time, we take what you just positioned and turn it into a core narrative that makes your buyer the hero of the story.